And I guess it's on. Welcome to the Stiff Arm. I'm still Ron Mexico. Joining me on the new surroundings. Here, we had a beautiful studio built from scratch. We fostered in a bunch of Sri Lankan and Amish kids. It was an exchange program, and they busted me out a fantastic studio, complete with autographed baseball pictures. If you can, well, you two guys who are coming on the show, you can see it on Sunday, but right now, the rest of you can see it as is. But it's a poster, man. It's got a bunch of, oh, sorry, I should introduce a couple of people here. I'm a little ahead of myself. First of all, the views and opinions of the Stiff Arm are mine and those of my guests, and if you don't like it, go and fuck yourself. Secondly, let me introduce my guest before I'm just randomly talking to a television screen who they both on here. It's kind of difficult to see. First of all, this still photograph of this one gentleman, we'll just leave it as is. This is as close as you're going to get to seeing him. This is the Chief. Chief, how's it going, man?
That's good. It's very good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I couldn't be fucking happier.
All right. Always a pleasure, Ron Mexico with 2 N's.
That's goddamn right. And to the left of the Chief, on the right, is with this kind of see what he looks like. He's rather long in the tooth, but the one that's giving oral pleasure to a cigar is one Reverend. I can't reveal his last name, but the Reverend, former, an original show host of the various versions of the Ron Mexico show. And next to him is former. Give me a second. I'm thinking of a good one. No, not that one. It's former Fist of Fury champion 6 times over in Hong Kong is known as the Hebrew Hammer. The man who shaves his palms regularly because he was in his 70s, going for his 7th time Fist of Fury championship. Hello, fellas. How are you?
All right, I'm going to the barber shop.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. So, yeah, so anyway, first of all, and also in addition, I did that other response. Do either you two morons have a drink?
No.
No, not you.
I do.
No, I'm talking to Heckle Jekyll over on the right. Where's your drink? What is that shit? The fuck is that? You have nothing alcoholic. Didn't I not tell you to pour yourself a fucking drink?
I'm drinking the fruity drinks.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I got some female companions coming in.
What's the other one drinking?
Coke.
Oh, for Christ's sake. All right, well, you pussies pick up your drinks, please. Before we begin the show, I just want to, another toast. I'll begin every fucking show to a toast to my late partner, Charlie India. Charlie, here's you, man. Drink up, motherfuckers.
Yep.
All right, let's get this shit rolling. Fuck, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to set the timer. Oh, well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait that. Anyway, so what's going on? First of all, actually, it's a football show, but we're going to get it with a little bit different with baseball. So that's why I started with originally. So all the memorabilia you see behind me is there's a poster with it has a bunch of like 300. It says 300 victories pitchers. All right, it has Nolan Ryan, some guy from the Dodgers, another guy from the Giants, 2 white guys, another guy from the Braves with gray hair. It's kind of shaggy with the old like lowercase a Braves logo. The dude from the Mets, Tom Seaver, Steve Carlton. Some guy, it looks like I think it's the Indians. Looks like it says early or something like that on it. And there's another guy who played for the Milwaukee Braves.
Warren Spahn.
Who?
Warren Spahn.
That's it. There you go. God damn. Only from there. Okay. Any of the other ones? I don't know who the Braves guy is.
Is that Don Tucker?
I think that's who the Dodger is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. The San Francisco Giant. I have no fucking idea who that is.
Caleb Perry. And the picture of the Cleveland Indian, is he dripping? If
No.
he's dripping, it's Perry.
No, it's no. I think that might be who the Braves guy is.
Oh, the Cleveland guy. Early win.
That's it.
Fat?
No, he's not. He looks good. He looks good. Looks like he was on the paleo. He slimmed down. Looks really, really nice. All right, and then quickly, and there's a picture of Hank Aaron holding up the baseball when he broke the home run record, autographed, and there's I don't know, some Cincinnati Reds pitcher, I don't know who the fuck it is, number 43, ring a bell, and some Atlanta Braves guy. And and there's the one you can't see is you can kind of see it. Is Catfish Hunter off of Sports Illustrated. So you guys can choose one on Sunday morning looking at the baseball memorabilia. All right. So how long have I been talking for? You guys think? About 4 minutes?
Good, yeah.
You think that?
Probably, sure.
All right. Good. Sure. Thank you, Jeffrey. God bless you.
No problem.
Okay. God bless you. God bless you, Jeffrey. Please. So Jeffrey, please. How? Let's before we jump into that. You have, and you'll understand this. You have rooted for a very malign franchise. Would you say? Is that fair to say? A lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups. A lot of frustrations.
Very dysfunctional. Yes, is a good word. Yes.
Okay. Prior to that dysfunction, when you were going to Super Bowls, which is over 20 years ago.
Yes.
It was a pretty good time then for the Skins, right? You guys were always in the playoffs. Were in the hunt for Super Bowls, right?
Let me explain something to you. Then in the '80s, it was a shock if they ever lost a game. They won games. If they lost a couple games, it was like the Patriots losing. That's the type of franchise they were then. They didn't lose games, and when they did, people were like, "Are you kidding me? What happened?" Or there was a fluke or something, because they were winning, yes, and they just had the winning mentality.
All right, so going from now you go into now, which is like, this is like menopause. This is the dry season. This is like you need to spit on her pussy and put about a pound of lube in there to make sure that shit don't dry up. I mean, it's barren, right? Pretty bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a dried up rock box. Yes.
All right, so this is my fucked up segue into going. Holy shit! The New York Mets made the fucking World Series.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is with that shit, Reverend?
I don't know, man. I'm just as surprised as everybody else. I knew they had a good team. I thought they had good young pitching, but the hitting has been clutch and everything's working for them. So
I don't give a fuck about any of that. This is what I care about. This is what I give a shit about. What I care about is what's it like going from after year after year after year after year of just like, this is never gonna fucking end. This is never gonna fucking happen. And now it's here. So you're just in. I mean, for all intents and purposes, a week from now you could lose this fucking thing and be like, oh fuck this shit. But I mean, what does it feel like to go from seeing year after year after year of just complete, utter, and piles of shit to now?
it's still surprising.
You're the champion.
It's kind of like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, you just enjoyed it, but at the same time, you can't fully enjoy it because you think you're gonna wake up the next day and it's all gonna be a fluke.
2 questions. If the Mets win the World Series, first question, what will you do immediately afterwards? Well, first of all, will you do it Puerto Rican style and go out banging pots and pans in the streets?
Yes. And then I'm gonna eat a pound of pasteles.
He's really that big of a Mets fan, this guy.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got it. I'm like, all right, where are we going? I got it. Okay, wow.
And well, I mean, okay. And my second question is, will you be awake to see this happen?
I'm definitely gonna have to take some caffeine and a couple of naps. And
You are the laziest fucker. How can you go to sleep at the 5th inning of a fucking game? How?
Christ, wow.
I got a real job.
Shame! No, fuck the real job. Fuck the job. Fuck the kids. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
What kind of shit is that?
I got a real 9-to-5 job.
Oh, you're a
pipe. Hit the pipe.
pussy. God, you disgust me. Get the fuck off the show. But congratulations. I mean, seriously. I mean, I was kind of torn between that series because I wanted to see the Mets go because I know you, but I also would I was like, wow, the Cubs, man. But the Cubs kind of losing is a good thing because now it kind of sets up. I want to talk about is well not next, but later on is Oh, that's much better. It's comparing the Miami Dolphins to the Chicago Cubs, and that analogy still stays current because those fuckers still have it going. And okay, question to the three of you. Okay, before we wrap up on baseball. Okay, the Reverend already knows this, but this goes out to you, Chief, and this goes out to you, Hammer. Can you name the only two teams in all of Major League Baseball who have never been to a fucking World Series? There's only two.
Yeah, one of them is Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
And the other one, oh Jesus.
What about you, Jeffrey, please? What do you think?
I'm not too sure on that one. Not real positive.
Oh, you should be.
I'm sure the Reverend's got it figured out.
Oh, no. The Reverend knows already, because he and I had the discussion about a week ago. No, you should know this. This is very near and dear to where a certain football franchise is.
Oh, you're talking about the Nationals?
Yes, sir. The Expos.
Oh, okay.
They're the only two who haven't been.
Yeah, but there's an asterisk. 1994. The Expos had one of the greatest teams of their era. I mean, they had talent coming out of you know what. And the Yankees were also in first place, slightly ahead of Toronto when the strike happened. And if the season was finished, I'm quite sure that Montreal would have been there because they had a great team.
Okay, well, I do have a question here. If the Mets, which they are in the World Series here, pretty much, okay, are you going to the World Series?
No.
You look at that motherfucker makes a third inning.
Hey, they got standing.
You're not even going to attempt to make one game of the World Series. I mean, we're talking about one game. You got a best of 7 here. So shit, you can make it to one of them.
Very well, Chief, but I don't like mingling with the unwashed masses.
He doesn't.
Stop.
He doesn't like white people at all.
They're selling standing room only for $700.
Oh, that's it?
Well, that's so far. That was as of yesterday. Tomorrow morning it could be $1,200.
Reverend, did you get to go? Okay, so it's been now. This has been. Has it been what 29 years since they won the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's been 15 since the last one you were in.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to any of the ones in '86?
Yes.
Which
We
one?
did Game 6 and 86.
Oh wow! So you were So you were at the last one. Then you have to go. You need to attend one. You were the reason. It's a fucking jinx. You can't fuck this up. What is wrong with you? You fucking stupid? Come on.
I would make an attempt to get yourself some Reverend, and get a couple of Red Bulls, and get your ass over there and get a couple of tickets.
Come on, man. Don't be a punk ass bitch.
I might want to check that out if I were you.
You can find you a nice DR whore to shack up with while you're there.
Right, sleep in a cab.
That's probably the only thing I can afford.
You can sleep on the 7 train. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It runs through a nice Jewish neighborhood. You'll be okay. All right. So, where are we? So let's start with last night's game. Did anyone stay awake for last night's game, which was the Thursday night game?
I stayed awake, but I didn't watch the game. Not all of it anyway. It was kind of hard to watch Kaepernick go down every 2 seconds.
This is my big question about the game. When did the 49ers hire Ron Jeremy as a coach?
Well,
Their fucking guy looks like Ron Jeremy. Chople, does he not look like Ron Jeremy? You've seen some porn. You've done some research.
He looks like his cousin in my studies now. In my studies. He looks like his cousin, perhaps. But, yeah, what's he, the tight ends coach that they upgraded to be the head coach, I think.
Ron Jeremy went to my high school.
Jeez.
There were pieces of this, you know what, still in the halls.
What were the which one of you two knew stories about Ron Jeremy?
He went to my high school.
Right, no, but didn't you guys? I'm talking about the Reverend. I'm talking about the Reverend and the Hammer here. When you guys went to New York for it was a baseball draft or something. I don't know what the fuck you guys went there for.
Yeah.
And didn't you run into a guy? Or did you guys meet the dude from Screw Magazine?
No. Doesn't ring a bell.
I got to lay off the drugs. So anyway, moving on. That second went fucking nowhere. All right, so fuck this shit. my point was this. I don't know what my point was.
You're talking about long-suffering franchises.
Right. So, my point being is, I'm just trying to figure at what fucking point does the drought end? At what point is it acceptable as a fan to just say, you know what, surrender, Dorothy, fuck this shit, I'm out. It's like I feel like I'm almost to the point of divorce with the Miami Dolphins.
Well,
I mean, have you ever reached that? I mean,
yeah, I'm a Ranger fan, and it took a long time to win one, and now it's already been 24 years. We're well on our way to duplicating the first 54 years. But it's a strange thing in hockey because for 40 some odd years, 3 teams won all the cups just about.
right.
And that boggles my mind. I think the Rangers won 2 and the Bruins won a couple, but the 3 teams won most of those cups. How does that happen?
A lot of Canadian dollars.
It's kind of like basketball. Red Auerbach. I mean, I know he cheated.
Canadian dollars. Are those real dollars or are those just not real because they're lying? They don't
They're worth
lie.
more than ours.
They lie. Those dollars lie.
So-
Don't they run next to
Yeah,
their money lies.
Their value's full of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So-
Nothing tells the truth.
Take it to the SO station.
All right. So what did we say? We started with 4 minutes in by the time I figured the watch out, so we got about 6 minutes. All right. So listen.
You're talking about these franchises. What you got to realize is there are so many people who are saying that in the Washington, D.C. area because one of the questions on the radio this morning was they were trying to ask us if they expected too much this season and were the expectations too high and is this weekend really a real code red type of game? And I'll be honest with you, they can say what they want about expectations too high. Like when I was interviewed when I was at training camp by Dan Steinberg, who was a writer for the Washington Post, he said to me, if you feel this way, what are you still doing here? I said, well, you can't just come out here and be oozing misery. You got to have some kind of hope. But the problem is when it hits you in the face like a fucking baseball bat, you realize reality sets in, and you have to deal with it. Because he asked me what I thought they could do. Could I really think they could win 10 games? And I said, well, sure they could. But this is before all this other shit started. But at one point, you do have to sit there and tell yourself, man, they keep wanting to change the culture, and the culture isn't changing because, like I told you about how it used to be, it's the complete 180 of the way it is now. Now, when they talk about the NFC East, they don't even talk about the Redskins. They talk about a 3-horse race, and it's like we're the one that's fucking still in the barn, or we got a broken leg and we're on the side of the track. They completely omit us from the conversation. And that shit gets fucking old to me. That gets tiring, and I can't really say, that it's a bunch of bullshit, but they have to change their ways before they become talked about again. And you can't just do that winning one game. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh no, I know. I understand very well.
You can't just win a game and try to sell the whole world on Kirk Cousins and his fucking bullshit of interceptions every other fucking minute. You just can't do it. And the fan base is getting very, very annoyed. But I explained to this reporter, I'm a Redskin for life, so I'm in it until they're eliminated. When I know they're mathematically eliminated, that's when I have to downship. But until then, I'm all in with what's going on. But I hate it. I hate the whole fucking thing.
My feeling is this. I'm more of the point to where I just feel like I feel like the Janet Jackson song "What Have You Done for Me Lately." Dun, 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 you know what I'm talking about? That's exactly how I feel about the Miami Dolphins. Just because you won a game on Sunday, you scored a lot of fucking points. I'm sure not at 20. Don't impress me much. I'm like, what? Seriously, what the fuck? Where the fuck were these guys a few weeks back when you played Jacksonville? You lost to Jacksonville. The fucking Jaguars. The bane of my existence. That fucking franchise. You didn't even show up. You went to England and fucking laid a complete Cadbury egg of a turd against the Jets. You know, with the Redskins, you beat
Well, see,
a fucking punt
see,
return.
that's what sickens me. Let me
Oh no.
fan talking to me about, well, hey, we beat the Reds. Listen, you're going Landry on a special teams play beat the fucking Redskins.
Exactly.
Mr. Tannenbaum, I don't know what he was doing. He did nothing. That team did nothing. It was a 10-10 deadlock tie, and we blew it on special teams because our special teams blow a dog. It always has. And until they fix that, it's going to be a changing. It always seems to alter games. However, we've done some minor adjustments by playing keep away, like the majority of these teams are doing. But the Miami Dolphins beat us on a punt return.
Right.
Beat us on a punt return.
No, but that's my point. That's all they've done. So now they win one game, and what completely disgusts me and aggravates me about fans, about uneducated fans, is the fact that they okay, so they win one fucking game. See, look at that. Oh, I'm like, wait, how fucking dumb are you? I mean,
I know. I heard it.
Are you that fucking stupid?
Man, I know. I heard it from all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, but my point is this, and I want to make it very brief about the Dolphins. I really don't want to go into too much about it, but this is enough of a rant to take us to break. The Miami Dolphins, I've said this once, and I'll say it a million fucking times. The Miami Dolphins are in the business of hosting Super Bowls, not winning Super Bowls. The Dolphins are in the entertainment business, not the football business. They will never, ever, 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 Taylor Swift, ever, 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 ever win a fucking Super Bowl. It's never going to happen in our fucking lifetime. We are the Chicago Cubs of the National Football League.
I think they need Ricky Jarrett. Jarrett, man, even if he can't win it for you, he still got that fun house.
Did you, hey, Jeffrey, please, did you see that show, Ballers? Did you watch that?
No, I only saw part of one episode, but I never saw the whole thing, no.
Yeah, that's who Ricky Jarrett is. He's a fictional, actually, his father's Denzel Washington. I didn't
know that.
Yeah, his last name is Washington, that I know.
He actually got drafted by the Rams.
I didn't know that.
Who are from LA. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, please, I didn't mention to you. If you mention a certain football team from or a certain team from St. Louis, I'm going to assume you're either talking baseball or hockey because they do not have an NFL franchise. As far as I'm concerned, the Rams have always and always will be in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think I like the name of Shit Swirls. That's what looks good to me.
I think they're moving to Ferguson.
Isn't that a great name? I was told that, and I kind of, I've adopted that name. They're the St. Louis Shit Swirls. It looks just like a shit swirl if you look at that helmet.
It does, man. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, perfect, right?
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll come back with a second quarter on the Stiff Arm. Second quarter on the Stiff Arm with Ron Mexico. All right, so we'll probably get into the balls of this thing after all these other nonsense we've been doing. So, the NFL this week, what are we on? What is it, week 7?
Week 7.
Jesus Christ. Fast, isn't it?
Yeah, don't blink.
Fast and painful, all in the same lot.
Yeah.
But, so week 7, so we brought in a representative for the entire NFC East, but full-time season ticket holder. Hammer, you believe this shit? This guy goes to D.C. for every fucking home game and goes to Dallas? Every time the Redskins play in Dallas, he is there. In full and like, he don't hide. He's not showing, he's not a pussy. He's not there in the trench coat, hide his colors. He's dressed like the guy from the YMCA when he goes.
Was he the one on the grassy knoll?
Yeah.
No, but he is not. He doesn't object if there is grass on the knoll. He will still play ball.
You must lead a charmed life, my friend, if you get to travel so much.
Well, let's just put it this way. V-set's everywhere you want to be. Ralph's close to the NFL and the Chief. How's that go?
There's only one problem with the Skins. His name is Dan Snyder.
Well, let me just read you boys something from the Washington Post that came out on Wednesday, September 9th, 2015, before the season started. This is the cover of the Washington Post. It says...
Put your seatbelts on, bitches.
Big capital letters. It's got the Redskin logo blacked out. It says, reset, rebuild, reject. And then down below it says, repeat. You've seen it all before in Washington. 8 head coaches, 16 starting quarterbacks. Daniel Snyder has owned the franchise since 1999, and the equation that holds true is one of constant, never-ending, repetitive instability and failure. Your turn, Scott McLuhan, the new GM.
What the fuck is his name?
Scott McLuhan, you know about him, don't you?
That's a real name.
Name's Scott, S-C-O-T. You know,
I know that's a real. What the fuck is his last name? McLuhan?
McLuhan. He's the guy who left he was the GM for the 49ers and for the Seahawks. He did 2 beautiful drafts. The only problem with him is you got to keep him out of the bar because he went to rehab for 5 or 6 years. This is all fact, man. I ain't kidding you. He went to rehabilitation. He's got a drinking problem.
I would too if I had that job, man.
It's just basically telling you, reset, rebuild, reject, repeat.
Scott McLuhan, this beer's for you, buddy. Cheers. Tits up.
Scott. So it's basically in his hands because he's the evaluator of talent. And this is his job to get this team fixed. Because Bruce Allen's too busy hanging around the Harvest Festival. He can't pick a team. He's too busy shaking hands with fucking scarecrows. You don't have any fucking clue what to do. And Snyder basically needed to get a GM, and this is the guy. So everybody's putting their stock in this guy as long as he stays out of the fucking bar. Everybody knows that. And he's got the fucked up wife that went on the internet and said all this shit about Scott blowing, or one of the ESPN girls were blowing her husband, and they all tried to cover it up and said it wasn't true.
Wait, whoa! I'm calling the timeout. It's literally second quarter. Using the fucking
It's all
timeout
a
already.
fact, man. It's all a fact.
Wait, his wife said he should.
A few weeks, like about 5 to 6 weeks ago, before the season, right before the season started, it came out on ESPN that an email was sent saying to an ESPN reporter, if you want to, they were trying to say that the information that came out too soon. This reporter was able to report the fact that Kirk Cousins was the starting quarterback before it even hit the news. And this supposedly woman.
Oh, I thought you meant he came too soon.
Pardon me?
I thought you meant he came too soon.
She wrote and said, you must have blown somebody to get that information. What did you blow my fucking husband? Blah, 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 blah. And it came back to ESPN, and they're like, oh, this is coming from Mrs. McLuhan. And they're like, Mrs. McLuhan? Well, it can't be Scott McLuhan's wife. So an email was sent from the Washington Redskins and said, no, this was somebody who was a hacker that came into the system. And then 5 minutes later, the Washington Redskins had to send another letter out apologizing because it was Miss.
Oh, the Redskins was silenced him. This happens every time he goes on his rants.
Really?
He gets silenced.
It was Britt McHenry. That bitch, she's got no respect.
So we had to cut that bitch.
I'm telling you, every time I see her,
Oh, we lost him.
at the freaking TV.
Son of a bitch. Oh wait, he's trying to get back into this. So excuse me while I whip this out. This is really bad. Is he in?
He's looking for Jessica Mendoza.
That is really weird. Dude, that's fucking kind of spooky. Both of you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Jeffrey's not there, but that's pretty fucking freaky. Trying to get Jeff back on the air. I don't know what's going on with the mouse pad, but the person that tried to add to the call was Carl's screen name.
Really?
Yeah. That's fucking some freaky ass shit, man.
It's aside from the
So
beyond.
he's here. He's somewhere in this fucking room right now.
He's pissed he doesn't have a fucking tequila.
Yeah, he's pissed I have any drinks ready for him, man. Oh wait, he's trying to get. Let's see. No. But and look at that. So well, we'll have to figure something out here in a second. Anyway, we'll take a quick break here and come back with more stiff arm. So we fixed our shit. Wow. Fucking technology is great and sucks all at the same fucking time. Alright, so you're talking about this general manager, so he was getting blowjobs from someone from ESPN. That information been released by whatever. We know it's fucking true.
That's what his wife said.
Yeah.
Basically, the Redskins apologized, saying there was a hacker in the system, but then 10 minutes later they came back, and I guess from what the computer expert said, any idiot could have figured out that it wasn't a hacker, it was from his wife. So they issued an apology that she didn't mean to say what she said, but she was accusing a ESPN reporter for obviously fucking blowing her husband to get this information out to the public. So the point is this all happened prior to the season, and they brought him in hoping that there wouldn't be any issues, but there has been talks about the fact that this has been the fall of him being such a great, he's a very, very good talent evaluator. I mean, he's one of these guys, he picked a lot of the players that you would never have thought of. I mean, like Richard Sherman, this guy was responsible for that, the tight end out of the 49ers, what's his name?
Vernon Davis.
He picked him. I mean, he picked a lot of players that you would say, wow, 5th round picks, 4th round picks, and he's been out of football because of his personal life and because of the bar. He went to rehab. This is all fact.
But you know what? Let me tell you something, Jeffrey. I find the excuse of because he went to the bar and he was an alcoholic as a better excuse for the downfall of a franchise than for the fucking futility that the Miami Dolphins perform season after fucking season after season.
I got you, man. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this is his first year here, and they're expecting miracles from this guy. But the point is this all hit 5 minutes before the season started, and everyone's going, oh, well, hey, we got Scott. You know, we got faith in Scott. And then this hits, and you're going, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe Scott has got issues. So this is the question. It's like, if things go bad, if things start to sink, like if we lose this game Sunday and the heat really piles on, does he hit the bottle again and he fades again? I mean, I don't know. This is one year with this guy, and they're expecting fucking miracles.
Well, speaking of expecting fucking miracles, okay, I'm going to go on a limb with you here, and I'm going to tell you that. Well, I picked, at the beginning of the season, I predicted that the Super Bowl was going to be the New York Giants and the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Now, every 4 years, the New York Giants seem to just show up at the fucking Super Bowl. Every 4 years.
I hate the Giants.
And every time they get in there, everyone's like, how the fuck did they get in here? These are the luckiest bunch of motherfuckers. There's no way they're going to win. They've done it. They've done it.
I have to say, as a longtime Giant fan, longer than some of you guys have been alive. One, I don't know how you show up every week without a pass rush. There's no way you can win a game without a pass rush. And yet they managed to win 3. So there's magic in the air. And talk about miracles. Jerry Reese is a disciple of Ernie Accorsi, who was a disciple of George Young. And Jerry Reese performed a miracle in 2007. Every guy he drafted played in the Super Bowl. And that was the first one when they beat the Patriots in the 2008 Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Since then, the Giants stink because he can't find any talent. Every guy he picks, with the exception of the first-round guy, is lousy. So, you know, if you talk about miracles, I mean, there's probably 31 other guys in the NFL who know how to pick guys better than Jerry Reese. And
No.
Jerry Reese still has a job. So, you know, forget about the Super Bowl this year and forget about Jerry Reese and Tom Coughlin next year. That's my prediction.
No, this will happen because the Patriots have to have some sort of atonement for the whole Deflategate scandal. So what better act of contrition than the NFL than to make it all the way to the championship and lose again? Not only lose, but they're losing in Tom Brady's hometown, which is he grew up in Northern California. I don't Google the shit. You got fucking phones, find out. Not only that, it's the Super Bowl. Okay, it's the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, and
Right.
who better for him to lose to for a third time than the proverbial thorn in his side, the fucking Giants. Giants are the biggest
I'll
television
slip
market.
to Redwood City if this happens, because I would love to see it.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
this is what I think is going to happen. Now, Jeffrey Bleaks,
Yep.
why the entire division is a complete shitstorm. I do not see really any clear front runner. Even though everyone wants to pile on the Eagles bandwagon and say,
Right.
what's the Eagles? First of all, answering this, Jeffrey,
Yeah, go ahead.
why can't they get a fucking uniform to fit Sam Bradford? Does he not look like a kid in the Sears catalog in a Hutch NFL uniform? Can't you buy this motherfucker some clothes that fit?
I don't know. I want to know what's wrong with his eyeballs.
He looks like he's on way too much eating. You know, he's from Oklahoma. There's a lot of meth labs out there.
I mean, you see those eyeballs of his?
He looks fucking crazy.
Like he's ready to spit the hook. He looks like a giant fish out there. I mean, he really does. I was like, wow, this guy, is he okay? And it's like, it doesn't matter if he makes a good play or if there's somebody knocking him on his ass on a pass rush. The boy looks the same.
So, in your opinion, right now, who would you say is the clear front runner? I mean, is there enough chutzpah? You like that, Hammer? Chutzpah in the Redskins? Is there enough chutzpah in the Redskins to rise up and take the East, or is it one of the other three? You were talking about the first quarter. How you said it pains you to hear that you guys are never even considered.
We're not considered. You know what? I mean, they keep talking about changing the culture there, and I don't see it, man. I don't see them changing the culture right now. I don't, and they obviously see my biggest problem is I understand it's a marriage in a football organization, and that is why people can say what they want about the Patriots. The Patriots have got it right. You know, people bitch and say they do it all right. They got an owner, and they got a fucking coach, and they got a quarterback, and there's nothing touching those three things. Nothing. And if you don't have a marriage between that quarterback and your coach, it's never going to happen. I mean, it's just it's a zoo what's going on. If you look at the NFC East, every year I got to hear about Elijah Manning. Look out for Elijah, last 8, 9 fucking years. For the longest time in Philadelphia, it was Donovan McNabb. Now, obviously, it's been different the last few years, but I'm talking on a regular basis. And for the last 9 to 10 years, it's been Tony Romo. With the Redskins, man, roll the fucking dice. It's different every fucking year, and when you go out and you get a guy like Robert Griffin III and you think he's going to be the guy, and then you have to hear later on that Mike Shanahan never wanted him, but took him anyway, but then in spite of the owner, he went ahead and he drafted Kirk Cousins in the 4th round just to get even with the owner, so you got 2 young guns, and it's constantly, well, if he doesn't play well, then I'm going to try my guy, and it didn't work with Griffin, and so Shanahan was let go, and Jay Gruden's job was to come in, and he's supposed to fix Robert Griffin III. Now, mind you, Robert Griffin got himself in a lot of shit with his mouth to begin with. I'll be the first to admit that, but Jay Gruden was supposed to fix this with Robert Griffin, and you find out in the off season after year 1 that Kirk Cousins, because of the collective bargaining agreement, you're not allowed to co-practice with your coach in the off season on certain days and not OTAs. Kirk Cousins is practicing with John Gruden in the offseason, not RG3. Kirk Cousins is. It's reported. And Jay, well, I'm not really sure about that. Well, bullshit. You knew what was going on. The point is now you got Jay trying to push for Kirk Cousins. And you know, you had Kirk Cousins there, and then Colt McCoy last year, and then Robert Griffin last year. It's a revolving carousel. And the thing is he's trying to sell everybody on Kirk Cousins right now. And I'm just not buying it. And I don't see it. It's not going to happen. He's got to basically ride this year out. And until something happens, like we lose this weekend, there will be a change. There just will be until he rides this out and he loses his job because he thinks Kirk Cousins is going to take him to the promised land. And
all Kirk Cousins is going to do is change his name from coach to Mister, because he ain't going to be a coach anymore. It's as simple as that. They keep calling it the Code Red game. It's going to be the Code Pink game. It's not for breast cancer awareness, because that fucker's going to have a pink slip in his office after this fucking weekend if he loses.
I thought that's how raw his asshole was going to
I'm
look
just
after
telling
he
you, I'm
fucked.
telling you, Raw Mexico with 2 ends. And the thing is you keep asking me about a front runner. The sick part about it is they're talking about this so much on Redskin Radio. It is a log jam of shit in this division. I mean, one team's got one extra win, but the problem is there's just, to put faith in anything, you want to say, well, the Giants have got Eli, and Romo's not coming back. But, Dez once was seen in practice. He wasn't doing anything, but he was seen. And they're just hanging around. And when they come back to full speed, who knows? But all I'm telling you is we have been decimated with injuries, and I have been basically told, from players, family members, to fucking newspaper people, Kirk Cousins is not a playmaker. He's basically a guy who handles the game when it's on script. And when the thing is off script, he has a problem. Well, all you guys listening to that, how many fucking games are off script? All of them. So basically, when the game doesn't go his way, he starts to short circuit. Well, that's what's happening. I mean, Jesus Christ. We could go into this season if we lose this Sunday. I mean, right now we're 2-4. They could be 2-5, 2-5 with 9 games to go. And I mean, here we are almost in November, and here I'm talking about, well, maybe next year. And this division sucks. I mean, it sucks. And they keep talking about the culture. You're going to force feed me this Kirk Cousins experiment. And the only thing I keep telling myself as a fan is, get me a fucking answer this year. All I want is a fucking answer. Get me an answer, because if the organization and the fan base sees that Kirk Cousins is just exactly what he is, he's an average quarterback who's an interception machine, then they'll let him go, and there will never be another talk about him again. If they're going to cut Robert Griffin, then cut Robert Griffin. But you can't just keep, he could still be here. And it's never going to be the same. But Jay Gruden doesn't like Griffin. He wants to sell everybody on Kirk. And it's basically what's going to happen at the end of the year. How many games can this guy win? How many?
He's a paper champion.
I'm just telling you, it's weak.
The paper champion.
The Eagles aren't all that great. Giants are just okay, and the Cowboys are struggling too. But the problem is, even in this shit division, we are still not mentioned at all as relevant.
You ain't a real man.
That makes me sick, man. It pisses me off. It pisses me off.
In the NFC.
You ain't a real man.
The AFC.
You ain't a real man. I want you, Balboa. I want you.
The Ravens loss sucks, and the air went out of them.
The way he's been ducking is a disgrace.
But what I want to know is, in sports in general, if somebody comes up with something that works, you look at
Why don't you send your wife over for a real man? For a real man to love her.
Hey, woman.
Hey, woman.
That's no copycat league.
So, man, ain't got no heart.
Every team that's successful, usually other teams copy their way. It's true in baseball, too. As somewhere along the line, someone says, I know what I'll do. I'll get a guy to go 6 innings, and then I'll have 3 guys who throw 100 miles an hour, finish the game. Now nobody finishes the game except Kershaw. If these teams, like the Redskins, that are perennially so bad, they need another model. I think that the owner is the problem. But if you don't sit down with somebody who knows, like Bill Cowher, he knows the Pittsburgh way. He's a smart guy. He could help another organization. Otherwise, you got all this crap. San Francisco, everybody quit, or else they got arrested and got thrown off the team. Then they had to bring in this poor guy who looks like Ron Jeremy. And nobody, these teams are not good. What would it be like to be a Lions fan or a Bears fan?
Bro, you don't know it's like to be a Lions fan.
Man, I ain't a Lions fan.
Shot a few Lions, didn't you, Mr. Mexico?
Oh my God! Well, it's like it's the same thing I keep feeling over and over again with the Dolphins. It's like being a Dolphins fan is like being in a very abusive relationship. It's like being in a country fucking music video. He didn't mean to hit me. He didn't mean to hit me. I fell asleep. He done run over my head with the truck in the driveway. I mean, it's just like you make every excuse in the book to fucking stay with him. And I just, every week, I'm like, why do I continue to keep watching this shit? Why do I watch it week after week after week in the hope that just that one fucking day they win just so I can say, yeah, I rooted for them through all this bullshit. But it's like, it's never going to fucking happen. Like I keep saying with the Dolphins, they are more in the business of entertainment than they are in the business of football. He wants to make whatever it is to make his money hosting fucking Super Bowls. All this guy talks about is all the renovations he's made to this fucking stadium. Oh yes, we have restaurants, we have this, we have that. What do you have on the field, Steve? What the fuck's on the field exactly? Oh, we got Ndamukong Suh, we got the best defensive player in all the NFL. Fuck him. What has he done? He's another Mike Wallace. Every fucking big name guy, sure they want to come to Miami. Why? I'll set up residence here, no state income tax, pay me. I'll wait 3 years, then look at my potential's waning. I know Belichick will take my ass. I'll go play for the Patriots and get a fucking ring. We are the fucking farm system for the New England Patriots. And the rest of the fucking league. The Dolphins are no different than the fucking Marlins. Marlins make great talent to trade away. Dolphins, same fucking shit. Do you know you have a hockey team, by the way? You don't. I don't get it, and it frustrates me. It's just like, why do I continue to support this fucking team? It's the same thing every fucking year. They give you false hope, they give you blue balls, and make you think, if I buy this bitch some dinner and some drinks, I'm gonna get some pussy. No. It winds up a failed rendezvous on fucking Craigslist, year after year after year with the fucking Dolphins. And I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm fucking had enough of this bullshit. Fucking.
They did that in New York. If you remember, back in the late '70s, the Passarchik fumble, that was the last straw. Somebody rented a plane and dragged a sign that says 15 years of lousy football. That's enough.
Fuck dragging a sign. I want the villagers at the end of Frankenstein with pitchforks and torches. I mean, enough's enough of this bullshit. Let's fucking get your shit together. We're a fucking laughingstock of sports, folks. South Florida has no fucking respect. And the fucking sun and lifestyle and all the other bullshit down here make you fucking pussy soft. So fuck off. You should never be respected as a fucking sports city. And I'm from there, and I fucking love all the teams from there. But you know what? We are not a fucking sports city. So shut the fuck up, Donnie. That's all I'm gonna say to you guys. All right. Another break. We'll come back with the third quarter on the stiff arm. The fourth quarter of the stiff arm with Ron Mexico. In other words, it's the last fucking quarter of this segment. Bitches, we ain't doing anything else at this point. All right, so Sunday, week 7. Wow, can't believe that shit. Already here. Big plans for you boys this weekend. Where are you going to watch the full tilt matchup between the Dolphins and Texans?
Hopefully I'll be passed out on my couch.
Wait, first of all, you're going to get up at 9:30 in the morning and watch the Bills at the Jaguars in London?
Fuck no.
I'm so over this fucking London.
Well, you know
game.
they just signed another 5-year contract.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, oh.
So.
It's fucking dumb. And it's between Jaguars and Dolphins. Why? Oh, in case you didn't know this, because the reason the Dolphins are playing games in London is so they can host a fucking Super Bowl. Because that's a requirement by the NFL now. Is if you want to be eligible to host a Super Bowl, you have to forfeit one home game a year to be eligible for a Super Bowl. So again, all we are is in the business of hosting Super Bowls and entertainment. That's it. We are not a football franchise. It's never going to fucking happen, guys.
I would love to see what the numbers are, what kind of money Ross gets for hosting a Super Bowl.
I mean, it's got to be astronomical. There's got to be some sort of huge cut in his form. Or maybe he's like Godfather and he gets fucking tribute from all the businesses in South Florida from getting the Super Bowl in town that they're all reaping the rewards from. It's got to be something like that, man. What do you guys think?
I agree with you.
Hammer, you were an accountant. What do you think? You're Jewish. You know numbers. Come on.
Money talks and bullshit works. That's the thing.
But seriously, I mean, don't you think that's got to be it? I mean, how can you year after year after year of just have a team that is just, I mean, it's like buying bootleg dick pills. It might get hard, it might not. I mean, that's what it is year after year with the fucking Dolphins. It's bootleg dick pills.
But they're not alone, man. Tell me what the Browns have done recently.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Except make horrible uniforms, nothing.
Yeah, that's a moribund franchise.
Wow.
What a big word.
I love it.
I don't know what the hell it means, but it sounds good.
It sounded good.
It makes me want coffee and dessert.
This is not unusual in the NFL, though. I mean, the Dolphins, sure, it is kind of sad because, I mean, they pay all that money for Ndamukong Suh, and I think he's skating. He's got his money, and he's getting pushed around. That doesn't make any sense. This guy was the meanest animal on the field the last few years.
But doesn't it seem to always happen that way in sports? As soon as guys get paid, it's
That's
like
right.
they're like, what's going on with the Seahawks? Russell Wilson. Everybody, oh wow, everybody loved them some Russell. What the fuck's going on with Russell to love Russell now? He's like, he got paid.
Don't you think?
I mean, I know it's not on him, but I mean,
Don't you think it has something to do with Max Unger?
who's that? With Felix?
It was a center who was traded for Jimmy Graham.
Oh,
Seattle.
yeah, they haven't done shit with Jimmy Graham.
That upset the apple cart because that line was intact for a while. Plus, they had injuries too. But this guy, Jimmy Graham, he's got good hands, but he's allergic to contact. He can't block anybody. And, he gets it, he drops the ball. So it really wasn't a great move. They felt they needed a tight end. You can't break up an offensive line that's good, that's that good. And the defense, I mean, they can't be the Legion of Boom forever. Sooner or later, clubs are going to, make adjustments. But, last night, they looked pretty good, I'll tell you, against a bad team.
But but it's a very bad team, and that's the thing with the Dolphins that aggravates me is that everyone keeps going on and on about, oh, you guys look so good, you're this, you're that, blah, blah. I go, consider the source. Look what they fucking played against. They played the Houston Oilers from the 60s, is basically they played, against a quarterback that's in for a fucking hotel. I mean,
Yeah, but my thing is, okay, they played great against the Titans. You're telling me the Jaguars are a better team than the Titans?
exactly. That's what frustrates me so much about this. I'm like, the Jaguars are fucking pure shit. I mean, just running from a baby's asshole, pure shit. I mean,
The Jags came in and
throughout
kicked our
Corvettes, shit. They just shit throughout the entire store. They shit all throughout a Corvettes. I did that. I shit through an entire Corvettes. I did. I did. It's a true story. If my sister was here, she'd verify. She might come busting through the door at any second. And verify, yes, my brother did shit in the Corvettes. But no, I mean, it's just pure shit. I mean, and what you keep hanging on to is just like, when's it going to be our year? The fucking New Orleans Saints have a Super Bowl. I'm telling you, if the Giants don't, if my Giants theory doesn't hold water, you know who I think's really going to win it? Is the fucking Arizona Cardinals. I mean, when did you ever think you'd hear, besides world champion Cardinals, was baseball?
If the league was really about who's the better team, I agree with you, but I think there's a lot of politics in the NFL, and I don't think the best teams always win.
No.
So it's just like I think football right now is like pro wrestling, man. It's predetermined.
It's totally unexpected. Oh man, Charlie's rolling over in that fucking coffee right now. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's all about the fucking money. These guys I was talking to the other night, I was out Wednesday night, met a few friends for dinner and drinks, and I was talking to these complete strangers. 3 guys walk up to me. It's like, one guy's he's Puerto Rican, he's just like me, Puerto Rican Sicilian from New York, but he grew up in Massachusetts. He hates all fucking Patriots fans. He wishes they'd all die. He's got fucking loathe them. The other dude was from Puerto Rico. He spoke okay English, but he was pretty drunk, so his English was getting worse.
It turned into Spanglish?
It turned into Spanglish. He loved me, gave me a hug. I knew this guy like 15 minutes. Like, Jesus Christ, I could run for mayor of any small Latin American country right now. I'd fucking landslide, I'd win. I'm like C-3PO in Return of the Jedi. It's like the fucking Ewoks are just worshiping me, And this other dude...
Was he the mayor of Ponce?
I think he was the mayor of Poinciana. And that's such a Florida joke. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Poinciana. This other dude who's talking to me, he's Panamanian. He's a big New Orleans Saints fan, and he knew his shit. He was a legit Saints fan, because I brought up Bobby Eater and Dalton Hillier to him, and he started spouting off shit. I'm like, all right, you pass muster. So, but I mean, just those franchises. I'm telling you, and they both agree with me about how much money there is at stake in the National Football League and how it is a matter of numbers and what's trending and all these fucking internet buzzwords that it's going to predetermine a lot of shit. You know, it's just like, you know, it's I think I just saw something today on the internet that says I think the most popular selling jersey in Europe is Brady.
Of course.
You know those people that ate shit over David Hasselhoff fucking songs? You know what they're gonna make up fucking Tom Brady jerseys? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Cash cow! You know, apparently Europe likes the martyr. Every country's full of them. Fucking Tom Brady's the Joan of Arc of NFL Europe.
You know, socialism.
There, you heard it here first. What are you saying, Hammer?
The socialism works. For all the people who get nervous when you mention socialism or communism, but it's the National Socialistic Football League.
There you go.
Share and everything. There's no free market. Baseball is the only sport without a cap. That's why these guys get more money than anybody.
Baseball likes to hit it raw. Baseball is the bareback of sports, baby. Hit it raw.
That's
Baseball always had the best year.
So speaking of baseball, let me ask you guys this real quick. Who do you think's going to win the American League Series? And this one is a crazy ass score. Who?
Kansas City.
What do you think, Reverend?
well, I want Kansas City to win because I think the Mets match up better with Kansas City. But I think Toronto has just too much offense.
Why have the scores been so lopsided?
Well, as far as the American League is concerned, there's been some lousy pitching. I mean, R.A. Dickey, when he was traded, he was at the top of his game. So the Mets and Toronto made that deal, which would make a Mets-Toronto series the most interesting from that point of view, because the Mets got two really good players. And the Toronto stuck with Dickey, whose knuckleholder doesn't knuckle anymore. So that game was a 14-2 game. But the Blue Jays have a kind of offense that you really can't stop. You can only hope to contain. You know, it's only going to last so long. Once they picked up Tulowitzki, they lengthened their lineup. And then they've got these guys at the end who nobody knew about, who've been playing over their heads. And as far as the Mets are in some tight games. There weren't that many runs scored. Plus, they played those two games in almost freezing weather in New York.
Yeah, what the fuck was that shit?
Toronto's too strong. You can't keep them down for long.
Not when you're fueled by maple syrup and fucking sausage, man. All right, so Sunday, week 7. So 9:30 in the morning on Sunday, when you're rising and shining, Reverend, and I know when you're doing your foam rolling and your zone exercises that I taught you, I know you'll be doing those to the Buffalo-Jacksonville game, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's what I want to hear. Lip service. All right, so who would you guys pick in this game? Let's hear, Reverend. Who would you pick between Buffalo and Jacksonville?
I think Buffalo's slightly better talent than Jacksonville. So.
And that's the only reason you're giving. They're slightly better talent.
Yeah.
It's like that horse tits are just a Derek D. She's a C, but she's a D.
Exactly.
Okay. And the Hammer, who would you take in this game?
In Buffalo?
Yeah, it's in London.
Yeah. Well, I heard that Rex Ryan threatened to leave them all on the island of Malta if they didn't win this game.
That might not be a bad thing.
Malta's a hell of a lot nicer than Buffalo, which
I love drinking.
It's about 8 inches of snow.
I love drinking the beverage that comes from that island. It's fantastic. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I would take Buffalo in this either. I don't give a fuck. Jacksonville is Jacksonville is Jacksonville. Even though I don't know who. I think Josh Ferguson or whatever his name is, Ferguson. Whoever it is, I forgot his first name. He was. No, not DeBergishaw. He used to be the quarterback.
The old Buffalo Bill quarterback?
Yeah, Joe Ferguson. I don't know if fucking Joe Ferguson is the quarterback. I would take Buffalo over Jacksonville. Let's see. After that, Minnesota, Detroit. Minnesota, come on, man, help me out. Minnesota's favored by 2 games in Detroit. Detroit pulling the Dolphins, pulling a, hey, look, we're not dead yet against Chicago last week. Hammer, who would you say for this?
Well, I'm not too. I don't know what's going on with Matthew Stafford. Did they bench him?
No, Matthew played well last week.
Then, well, Minnesota's a really good home team, but on the road, I have to take Detroit in this one and a slight upset.
Reverend?
Yeah, man, I think that
Put you on the spot there.
it all depends if Adrian Peterson decides to play. He can take over a game. So if he's gonna say I'm not gonna lose, you gotta go with Minnesota.
I'm just gonna go with Minnesota. I just think Detroit is in the same lateral line as the fucking Dolphins and the Redskins and every other inept franchise. They're gonna win one game, give you false hope, and then fucking give you blue balls in the end and fucking choke. Your nuts are gonna be the same color as their fucking jersey at the end of this game, folks. Like the Vikings. All right, Saints at Colts rematch of Super Bowl 44. Indianapolis losing last week to New England, but it wasn't that bad when they had some offense and whatever the fuck that punt attempt was. I still don't understand what the fuck happened there. But it's like watching the Zapruder film over and over again. And the fucking Saints the week before put a beat down in Atlanta and they got their ass handed to them by the Eagles. You know what? Saints Colts. God, who the fuck are you picking this one? All right, I'll go first on this one. You know what? I'll take the fucking Colts because they're at home. I can't. I don't trust the Saints. I don't know what I'm going to get. Again, the Saints are another team that kind of can't figure out what the fuck they're doing. I mean, why would you trade away again? Why would you trade? I mean, the Saints are like the reverse of the Seahawks. It's like why would you trade away the one guy on offense that was, Drew Brees' best weapon for a fucking center? Why would you do that? I mean, it's not like Drew Brees has fucking benefited from that. He's been taking a beating all fucking season too. He get beat so bad, his fucking rotator cuff got bruised and he couldn't play. So how fucking smart was that trade? But I'm taking Colts just because they're at home. Reverend, what are you taking?
Is Andrew Luck playing?
Sure.
Then I'll go with the Colts. I think he puts them over the top.
All right, Hammer.
Yeah, I go with the Colts. I think they're getting a little bit better, but the Saints really they perplex me. I think maybe this is the beginning of the end for Drew Brees. That would be a shame. But
no, this is what's going to happen. They're going to see because there's a report I read about the Dolphins supposedly talking to Sean Payton. They'll wind up luring Payton over here for some exorbitant amount of money. We'll get Drew Brees on the balls of his ass at the end of his career, just like the Dolphins do with everyone else. Every fucking guy that's ready to retire, and just live the rest of his days out on Collins Avenue. That's what we got coming. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 2.5 points. Reverend, first of all, does your brother-in-law know that there is a Steelers game this weekend?
I don't know. If it's not on the latest version of the Watchtower, I'm not sure. So, I'm going to go Pittsburgh, man.
Do you think they're going to ride the wave of whoever that backup quarterback is?
Yeah.
Hammer, what do you say?
I have to agree. I think the air went out of the team Kansas City when Charles got hurt.
Yeah.
That's a shame because he's a great player, but they're not all that great anyway.
No, I would agree with you. I didn't predict Kansas City to do shit this season. I don't know what the fuck happens with Andy Reid teams and I don't know. They're just very inconsistent. I think that first season under him was a fluke, but it was guys that bought into what he had to do, and after that they're just like, well, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but you also got to admit when that first season they had the easiest schedule that year.
That they did too. And Pittsburgh, Byron Cope, who was supposed to be on the show this week, but we might get him next week. He was saying that if Roethlisberger got hurt, because when they signed Beck, I was just like, Yeah, on National Dog Day. I'm like, you saw Michael Vick? He's like, yeah. He goes, if Roethlisberger is injured, he goes, it's a complete shit show. We're done. And then Vic, pulls out probably his last greatest performance was the game against San Diego on Monday night, and then last week he gets fucking injured, which all the talking heads are saying that they all feel they feel that Vic has probably played his last game ever as a professional. But this other kid, man, he's got a lot of chutzpah too, and yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm going to take Kansas. I'm going to take Pittsburgh as well, and not an upset, but they're going to knock out Kansas City. All right, here we go. Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. Here, I'm going to end it real quick. Houston Texans, because the Miami Dolphins have never beaten the fucking Texans. Shut the fuck up with all your positive waves of, oh, it's going to happen sometime. It's not. It's not. Last week was fucking false advertising. You guys haven't done anything to prove me wrong. Fuck you, I'm picking the Texans. Hammer.
Well, I'm not all that thrilled with the Texans. They haven't really impressed me this year. I got a feeling that the Dolphins will have a 2-game win streak. A sloppy game. They're not. There's nothing smooth about either team except for J.J. Watt. He's his own world. But I think the Dolphins will sneak through by a couple of points.
Reverend?
Well, is Watt playing? Because I know he was out last week against the Jags.
Injuries. Let's see here. He's in Texas. He's not listed on the injury report, so I assume he is playing.
It's over the offensive line can't protect
Garcon. This is how the fucking show rolls. Alright, so I've got brought food, man. It's awesome. So are you taking Texans or Dolphins?
Well, like I said, if Watt plays, I think the Texans are gonna win.
All right. The AFC East showdown: Jets and Patriots. Really? Anyone think the Jets have a shot? Anyone? Bueller?
I think Jet fans will be thinking about the Mets that day. I don't like the Jets' chances against the best team in the league.
No. I say New England by balls deep, and balls deep in the Jets' asshole. Reverend?
Yeah, you just can't. The Patriots are on a roll. They're healthy. The only way they would lose that if there's a major injury to one of the big players, and even then, I still think the backups could still beat the Jets.
Or someone pulls the plug in the Xbox. Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams favored by 6.5. Which one of you two wants this?
Oh boy. It's another stinker.
Shit's world.
I'll go with the Rams. I don't trust Cleveland. I mean, I saw the overtime last week, and they couldn't even move the ball. They had good field position in overtime.
Right.
They went backward. There's a dearth of good quarterbacks, and offensive lines. I don't know. I thought the Giants were bad. They're actually pretty good compared to some of these other teams.
Listen, Cleveland will never do anything because of hitting his uniforms. That's why. Let it be written, let it be done. Reverend, who are you picking for this game?
Yeah, I think the Rams also.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams as well. I mean, fuck Cleveland and your shitty uniforms. Atlanta Falcons at the Tennessee Titans. Hold on to your moonshine. Falcons favored by 6. Is Marcus Marriott, or whatever the fuck his name is, Motel 6? I don't know. Whether he's playing or not, Atlanta's going to bounce back and smash the shit. And listen, if the Dolphins put 38 on you with a fucking mediocre at best offense, what do you think Atlanta's going to do to them?
Yeah.
When Holton made it runs wild all over that. All right. We didn't get Choco's pick on this, but Tampa Bay at Washington. Redskins by 3.5. Reverend, what's your boy Jameis Winston going to do in this one?
I think he's going to be throwing a few picks. So I think Washington's going to beat him.
Hammer?
Yeah, I would go with Washington. They got a good ground game. mean, that guy Morris, even the Steezer, he's still a good player. There's something about the aura in Tampa, as well as, you know, a lot of other places. And I don't think Winston's going to be very good for maybe another year.
It's the lure.
He's just throwing too many interceptions. So I'm going with Washington.
The problem with the Buccaneers is this, and the Reverend can speak for this. It's the lure of 2001 and Mons Venus that are right across the street from that stadium. I'm taking the Redskins also, and I agree with you what you hammers what you had to say about the Brown game. I think if they fucking just run the ball, Jesus Christ, they didn't run the ball. You'll slay Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Battle for who's good? One of the battle for the second team in LA. Raiders at Chargers. Country Strong is favored by 3.5 over the Nuggets, the proverbial. Charlie and I used to call the San Diego Chargers the Nuggets because they were like that turd that just wouldn't float. It would not get flushed. They would always keep rising back to the top. And week after week, those motherfuckers almost pulled it off against Green Bay. How do you feel about this one against Oakland?
Well, I think Philip Rivers is gonna chuck it up another 60 times like he did against.
He's gonna throw it up to God. Let him take it.
So I think I don't think the Raiders got what it takes to come back from a couple of touchdown deficits. So.
Hammer, Chargers or Raiders, man.
Where's the game being played?
San Diego.
All right, I'll go with the home team. I think it's just it's a home team kind of edge. Close game. The Raiders are getting better. They have one of the better receivers in the whole league. It is great. But slight edge to the Chargers. They played a good game last week.
Yeah, I'm taking San Diego too. And just the only reason is because they are at home. The big Sunday game. Here we go, New York Giants. Cowboys at Giants. Is Des Bryant playing? Is he not playing? Who's throwing the fucking ball? Does it really make a difference? Will this be Eli that shows up, or will this be Elliott that shows up? Giants are actually favored by 3.5. What do you say?
I have to be honest. I have a hard time liking the Giants in this game. They make me do crazy things when I watch them. They got me very upset last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah,
what kind of crazy things? Like
San Francisco.
Do you cut tags off of mattresses? I mean, what kind of crazy shit do you do here?
I got a very bad feeling about this one. I think Matt Castle has a better than average game. When you don't have a pass rush, and the only way they can win is if they tie DeMontre Moore to a chair in the bathroom of the locker room. Because he cost himself $20,000 and he cost the team 15 yards for one of his bonehead plays, which his teammates are getting tired of. And the problem is he's only one of 2 guys who could get to the passer, and the other one is 5'11", 246 pounds. So,
Hey, Reverend, I didn't know you were playing for the Giants.
What's that?
I knew the Reverend was playing for the Giants. So, you're taking the Cowboys in this?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
What do you say, Reverend?
I don't know. Is Dallas putting who's Dallas quarterback?
Danny White.
Jesus Christ.
No, he's not quarterback.
He's a tight end.
Yeah, I gotta.
He's a locker room attendant.
Castle might have just enough talent to pull it off.
Listen, I'm riding this fucking Giant thing to the bitter end. I'm taking the goddamn Giants. They better pull this shit out for me. And Sunday night, Philadelphia at Carolina. Will Sam Bradford ever get a uniform that fits? And is Carolina legit? Which one do you want it?
Carolina is. I think they showed their chops last week. That's a tough place to win.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. That was
I think that Carolina doesn't have to be at their best. Because Philly got it together. They don't have a hard time getting up for the Giants or Cowboys. But Carolina's a different animal. They're also undefeated.
Yes, it's a feline, which likes birds.
Philly doesn't impress me at all. I think they're really mixed up.
Reverend?
Yeah, I agree. I think Carolina is getting their whole team together to jelly. Cam Newton is finally stop making stupid, boneheaded mistakes, and
He's a fig.
if he just concentrates on actually passing the ball and forget about running, he could be a really good quarterback.
You know, I think a great you guys show. I'm going to take Carolina as well. I predicted them to win the NFC South just because the only reason I picked them to win the South was because they won it last year. Other than that, it's very surprising. You know, they are where they are. And then lastly, Monday night, a stinker of a game. Ravens at Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 8. Cardinals. You know what? Here's what the Cardinals. I should have totally bought into that Cardinals bandwagon when I got the NFL Sunday ticket back in 2002 when I started watching this shit. Where one of my sheer joys of watching the ticket was the fact that I could watch every Arizona Cardinals game because I figured no one else was watching it. And these are the days they played in Sun Devil Stadium. It was a college stadium, and there was no roof. It was hot as fuck, and there were like 6 people there, and Pat Tillman was playing for them. I was watching the Cardinals back then when they were absolutely miserable. The early days of fucking Jake Plummer and fucking I would like to say Tim Rosenbaum was there, but he wasn't. But that was a franchise. You know, that's a fucking bandwagon I should have jumped in on years ago. And it's too fucking late now. But you know what? It's not too late to pick the right team. So I'm picking the Cardinals over the fucking Ravens. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals too. The Ravens, it's just it's too bad that they're having one of those years. They only have one win, right?
They're a complete shit show.
Yeah. The Cardinals should win, but I'm not so sure they're going to win by 10 points or anything like that. But I think they'll win the game.
Reverend?
Yeah, I agree. I think like Hammer said before, once they lost Suggs, the defense just stopped playing, and Joe Flacco is just, I think he's overrated, man. I think he's regressed a little. You know, he's got an arm. But
Yeah, he only seems to show up. He only seems to show up when it's playoff time. The regular season's not so good.
yeah, but unfortunately, you're gonna win games and think they don't punch your ticket this early. So
That's right, Miami Dolphin fans.
I pick Arizona.
And there you have it, folks. That's your return of the stiff arm. So, again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties. If you want to contact us, we are at TSAwRM@gmail.com. The stiff arm, the stiff arm of Ron Mexico on Facebook. Ron with 2 N's Mexico on Facebook. And if you're savvy enough, you can figure out who the Reverend is. The Hammer, he leaves no fucking calling card. Other than a Publix gift card. That's about it. Anyway, fellas, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you coming on the air and putting up the technical hijinks. Now go get drunk, would you? Stop drinking fucking pussy drinks, would you? Do me a favor. God damn it. Come on, guys. Don't let Charlie down. Alright, fellas, thanks again. And once again, this is Ron Mexico saying, go fuck yourself, San Diego.